Welcome back to MBCS classes. In today's video, we are going to be learning about selection sort. Basically, selection sort is an algorithm which arranges elements of an array into ascending or descending order. Let's understand this concept clearly with the help of an example. On your screen, you can see an array which has elements 7, 1, 4, 2 and 3, and we have to arrange this array into ascending order. Let's understand how we are going to do that with the help of some diagrams. So we are going to follow these steps to understand how selection sort actually works in a program. So in step 1, we take our first element, which is 7, and then compare it to its next element, which is 1. Since 7 is greater than 1, we are going to interchange their positions, that is swap them. That is 7 comes to 1's position and 1 goes to 7's position. So in step number 1, we had compared first element of the array to the second element of the array. Now in step number 2, we are going to compare the first element of the array to the third element of the array. Since 1 is lesser than 4, we don't interchange their positions at all, and there is no change in this step. Moving on to step number 3, we compare the first element of the array to the fourth element of the array, that is 2. Since 1 is lesser than 2, there is no change in this step as well. Moving on to step number 4, we compare the first element of the array to the fifth element of the array. Since 1 is lesser than 3, there is no change in this step as well. Now here, we can notice a similarity in the first 4 steps. That is, in all these steps, the first element of the array is compared to the rest of the elements of the array. From step number 5, we will see that the second element of the array is compared to the rest of the elements of the array. So here, the second element in step number 5 is 7, and then 7 is compared to the third element of the array, that is 4. Since 7 is greater than 4, their positions are interchanged. Similarly, in step number 6, we compare the second element of the array to the fourth element of the array. Since 4 is greater than 2, their positions are interchanged. In step number 7, we compare the second element of the array to the fifth element of the array. Since 2 is lesser than 3, there is no change in this step. From step number 8, we can observe that the third element of the array is compared to the rest of the elements of the array. So 7 is compared to 4, that is the fourth element of the array, and since 7 is greater than 4, their positions are interchanged. In step number 9, we compare the third element of the array to the fifth element of the array. Since 4 is greater than 3 again, their positions are interchanged. From step number 10, we compare the fourth element of the array to the rest of the elements of the array. There is only one element left, which is why there is a comparison between 7 and 4. Since 7 is greater than 4, their positions are interchanged, and we get the output as 1, 2, 3, 4 and 7, which is in ascending order. Now from these diagrams, we have drawn some inferences. That is, that we start with the first element and compare it to the next all the elements of the array. Then we move on to the second element and then compare it to the rest of the elements of the array. Then third, then fourth. But the fifth element is not taken up because after that there is no elements in the array, so there will be no comparison. This makes a base of understanding for a first for loop. We have to remember that if we are given n elements in an array, we are going to run our first for loop only till n minus 1. That is, if we are given 5 elements in an array, we are going to run only till 4th element, because the 5th element is not taken up, because after that there will be no other elements left and there will be no scope of comparison. In this particular program, we require 2 for loops in a nested for loop arrangement. The first for loop will take the elements of the array one by one, and that element will be compared to the rest of the elements after that. So when the outer loop has taken one element, the inner loop is going to take the rest of the elements for comparison. Let us understand this with the help of this example on the screen. So when I is equals to 0, that is the 0th position of the array, the element of the array is 7, and we have to compare that element with the rest of the elements. So with these two for loops, we compare the elements. But what if we have to interchange those elements? In that case, we use a very simple technique. Let us understand that with the help of a simple example. Suppose you have been given a glass of Coke and a glass of Pepsi, and we have to interchange their positions. That is, we have to pour Coke into Pepsi's glass and Pepsi into Coke's glass. In that case, we use an extra glass. In the similar way, we use an extra variable in this program for the interchanging process, which is known as the temp variable. Now let's proceed to the actual program. In this program, first we accept all the array elements. Here we have given the limit of 10 array elements. Then we have the two for loops as explained earlier. In the if condition, it is comparing the two numbers or the two elements of the array, and then it is swapping. So as explained earlier, we use an extra variable for the swapping process, which is known as temp, and with the help of that, the two elements are swapped. So only if the element m of j is lesser than m of I, the swapping process takes place. Then finally, we display the newly arranged array. And with that, we have finished the programming part. This is the entire program at a glance. And this is the output of the compiled program. That is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe and share this video with your friends. And if you have any doubt regarding this topic, don't hesitate to comment them under this video.